Hi there. I'm here to demonstrate that I've completed the term project for Comp 2406. I selected option A, which was essentially adding sockets to an already made curling app. So I was going overtime a lot of the time when I was recording previously. So one of the things that I chose to do now is just to go over like a few key things. Uh, Portions one and two here, it's quite easy to prove that it has been completed. For example, I did code my project in JavaScript. I did use Socket IO. The server does indeed keep in track, and I can show you that actually that the server does keep in track of who is home. Basically, it stores it listens. The front end passes a uh, message telling that the home user has been set, for example, or the home or the visitor. For example, the visitor will emit the visitor, and then here it'll listen for it, and then it'll store the socket ID within an object that is stored here on the backend. So also, yeah, the server is hosted on port 3000, and all the data exchange happens in JSON object strings. So you can see that there. Whenever we actually pass things with the sockets, not all the time we pass data, but whenever we do, it is passed with a genuine JSON string. For example, here you'll see, yeah, stringified JSON, um, JSON.stringify. So we're always passing JavaScript object notation as data. But the main thing I want to go over is just the app, and these are the main things I want to touch on. So that's what I'll be showing. Um, So one of the things was the UI cleanup. There's no more moving string or a text box or a submit as request button. It is just the three buttons that are needed, and at least at the start, it's just a blank thing. There's no stones; they're all placed in the default position. Once you actually click join as home or visitor, you'll see that it goes to the normal position. The numbers are there, and everything actually starts up. So that was the first thing I want to touch on. The next thing is that joining that you can only ever have one person join as home. So you'll see I previously joined as home, so I can't join as home. If I open up a new client, I would have to either join as a visitor or spectator. So only one person could be home or visitor. The color box, part two is the color box does indicate whose turn it is. So for example, if I actually want to start up a game, you can see the color box right here is red. So that's why red got to shoot, but it's going to turn yellow, and now the visitor could shoot. The next thing is shooting out of turn. So, for example, it's red's turns right now. You know this is the red client because there's a red box over uh, this scoreboard, and here this is the visitor client. So right now it's red's turn. So yellow can't shoot, even though I try. Only red could shoot, and vice versa. Only red can shoot. Red can't shoot right now because it's not his turn. Um, Also, spectators can't shoot at all. So you'll notice that you actually don't start spectating the game until you click a button. And right now I can't click any other button other than join a spectator. But yeah, spectators can't shoot at all. They can only spectate the game. Live aiming. Oh, wait, well, you kind of already seen this, but you can see that I can actively on other clients see my aiming. It's not only done on my end; it's also passed to everybody else, even the spectator. I'll show that a spectator can also see the aiming. So you can see the spectator also does have access to the aiming. And so yeah. Um, Close-up view. So you'll see that the close-up view is synchronized on all clients. It wasn't synced there because it was running in the background, and Word probably doesn't allow for like unless it's like focus. Like right now, they're both in focus mode, so you'll see that collisions and everything is synced up. I was running it previously; it was just in a background tab, so it wasn't synchronous. But you can see here, for example, everything is synchronous. Um, Aiming, hitting of the stones, it all happens synchronously. And Hammer time. Yes. So whoever wins has to start first the next round. It's like a little bit of a handicap to make the game fair. So, for example, since home is leading the way, we'll just allow home to win this game, and you'll see that home has to start the next game. So yeah, now home starts. See, so the next game home has to start it. This just gives yellow the last shot. It kind of, I guess, it's a way to balance the game. And deregistration, yeah. So if you leave via closing the tab, you do deregister, and you can see I can now join as home. I could join as both players on the same client, or I could do it on different clients. So I'll show both. So now I joined as home here, and now I can shoot home here. The game still saves the game state. I think as long as actually no, the server always knows the game state, so the server will always keep track of that for us. But I'll also show that here you can join us both. So this client is both home and away, so he'll be able to shoot the whole day. And we'll make we'll make yellow win this time, so that yellow starts next. But yeah, you'll and yellow should start. Yeah, yellow starts the next round. Okay, cool. Uh, is there anything else I want to talk about? I've talked about collisions, hammer time, deregistration, close-up view. You saw that it was pretty synchronized in the close-up view. It's especially synchronized when both tabs are in focus, which they would be in on the assumption that we had like people playing on different like monitors. Um, Shooting, you did see it's basically same on the front end. The only thing that's really passed is just the actual like velocity vector that is shot. That's really the only data being passed. It's not like we're copying exact like locations of every stone. That'd be very um, intensive. I showed you that you can't shoot out of turn. The color box shows whose turn it is. Player registration. I have showed that you can only one person can join as home. The rest of this thing, yeah, it does run on port 2000. It goes out literally right here. You can see that. Other than that, I don't want to take up too much of your time. If you want to see a bit of the server and code, I don't know what time I am right now on the video, so I'm gonna try to hurry up. But overall, on the backend side, it's just this selected thing keeps track of who's actually has joined in somehow, whether they're spectator, home visitor. This is the stone data. The only data that's passed is the actual queue, and also where the right when stones are done being moved, their X Y is passed. So that's the only thing that are passed at a given time. We have a disconnect. This is what allows for deregistration. This is the queue. So the queue start updating of the queue and ending of the queue. The queue is the vector, the velocity vector that shows how far the stone's going to be thrown. But otherwise, I think I've shown everything. I'm not going to take up too much of your time. Thanks for listening and have a good day.